Hi, I'm Muhammed, Hamdan, and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Prime Minister stresses Malaysia-Indonesia border decisions are guided by conventions, not compensation. And Malaysia imposes immediate and absolute ban on e-waste imports. Good morning. Negotiations between Malaysia and Indonesia over the border alignment in Sabah and Sarawak are still ongoing and have yet to be finalized. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasized that all decisions concerning the border follow established conventions and agreements, firmly dismissing opposition claims that over 5,000 hectares of land had been handed to Indonesia as compensation.
Dakwaan berkenaan Malaysia menyerah seluas 5,227 hektar kepada Indonesia sebagai pampasan bagi 3 buah kampung di kawasan Nunukan adalah tidak benar dan penipuan, kalaupun tidak niat jahat sama sekali.
Speaking at a briefing on Malaysia-Indonesia Outstanding Boundary Problems, or OPB, in the Dewan Rakyat on Wednesday, Anwar said that what has been agreed so far is only a memorandum of understanding between the governments reached after years of joint reviews.
Proses itu masih belum jalan, belum selesai pun. Saya sebut tadi ada bahagian yang belum selesai. Baru ada persefahaman di antara dua-dua pemimpin dan dua-dua kerajaan.
He added that for Sabah and Sarawak, the 1891 Boundary Convention between the British and Dutch governments remains applicable. Under the initial agreement, Malaysia will acquire additional land areas based on the border line agreed with Jakarta, including parts of Sabate Island and the Sinapat Sesai segment. However, the proposed border revisions will still need to be referred to the relevant state legislative assemblies and the Conference of Rulers. Meanwhile, the Dewan Rakyat was informed that Malaysia had secured 780 hectares of territory along Sungai Sinapat and Sungai Sesai following negotiations with Indonesia on OBP areas. Anwar said this was the result of joint negotiations and surveys conducted since 1977.
780 hektar itu kawasan tambahan bagi Malaysia. 5,987 itu kekal di bawah milik Indonesia yang dimiliki oleh Indonesia sejak 1915.
The Prime Minister said since 1915, the area has not been disputed by either the British administration or the Malaysian government. He added that a small portion of Kampung Kabunggalo, Kampung Lempaga and Kampung Tetagas in Nunukan, North Kalimantan, automatically falls within Malaysian territory. The area will be incorporated into Sabah once the border determination is finalized. Also in the Dewan Rakyat, the Prime Minister warned the opposition against spreading falsehoods, particularly on matters affecting national interests.
Menyatakan bahawa hal-hal yang menyentuh kepentingan negara, termasuk sempadan, haruslah dibincang cara berhemah. Saya tidak ada masalah mana-mana ahli pembangkang untuk bertanya. Tetapi saya bantah keras tuduhan dan fitnah menyatakan kita khianat kepada negara.
Earlier, the briefing session became chaotic after the Prime Minister criticized opposition MPs for reportedly making disrespectful remarks regarding the matter. He said all parties must safeguard the good relations between Malaysia and Indonesia established since 1974 and refrain from making any allegations that could offend the neighboring country. At a separate function, Anwar announced a 10-year tax exemption for all educational bodies and foundations. The move aims to ensure the continuity and sustainability of educational institutions in the country. The Prime Minister made the announcement during a question and answer session at the Temu Anwar program held at Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology, or TAUMT, in the capital.
Pada badan atau yayasan pendidikan dengan peraturan ditetapkan oleh Kementerian Keuangan, kalau tujuannya untuk pendidikan, ya seperti mana yayasan TA kita luluskan pengecualian cukai 10 tahun.
The approval for the tax exemption is made under the Income Tax Act and is subject to regulations set by the Finance Ministry. At the same event, Anwar also presented a government grant cheque worth 40 million ringgit to TAR UMT. The cheque will go towards supporting the university's efforts in providing access to quality education at affordable fees. Anwar spent about an hour with nearly 2,000 students during the program, answering a range of questions on education, the economy, and international relations. Newly appointed Armed Forces Chief General Datuk Malik Razak Sulaiman has vowed a total clean-up of the military to restore public confidence. He said recent controversies had acted as a wake-up call for the Malaysian Armed Forces, or MAF, adding that failures in governance and integrity must be addressed decisively, particularly in areas relating to administration, procurement, development and financial management. Earlier on Wednesday, a welcoming ceremony for the 24th Armed Forces Chief was held at Wisma Pertahanan in Kuala Lumpur. Speaking to reporters later, Malik acknowledged the concerns of the public, who are also key stakeholders in the nation's security, and made it clear that the MAF will not tolerate any breaches of governance.
So, saya di sini berjanji, berdirinya saya di sini, dan juga dengan parlimen-parlimen saya ini, darat, laut, udara, we are going to do the total clean-up. Total clean-up. Dan kita tidak akan berkompromi dengan apa yang berlaku yang melanggar tata kelola.
He made the remarks in response to corruption charges brought against several senior military officers as exposed by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. Malik had also received key instructions from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim aimed at preserving the authority and credibility of the MAF. The directives were issued during an audience with the King at Istana Negara earlier in the morning. They covered aspects of integrity within the service as well as its management and governance. Malaysia has imposed an immediate and absolute ban on electronic waste or e-waste imports following a decision to reclassify such shipments under the Customs Prohibition of Imports Order. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the decision was made on Wednesday by a task force established to tackle e-waste dumping in Malaysia. Azam made the announcement as chair of the second meeting of the Special Task Force on the Enforcement Management Roadmap for Plastic and E-Waste Imports in Putrajaya. During the meeting, he also emphasized that firm and coordinated enforcement by all relevant agencies was essential to ensure the ban's effectiveness.
Tapi saya nak cepat mungkin lah, saya akan push benda ni untuk buat satu keputusan yang cepat. Sebab tak nak berbunyi-bunyi tentang dengan NGO ni bercakap benda kita ni banyak sangat dumping site apa semua dan benda tak turus dan sebagainya. Pandangan
Previously, e-waste was listed under the Conditional Prohibition category, which provided the Environment Department's Director General with discretionary powers to grant exemptions to import e-waste under certain conditions. The meeting also approved the setting up of a special e-waste coordination committee to be chaired by Malaysia Border Control and Protection Agency's Port Klang Commander, Datuk Nik Ezani Muhammad Faisal. Meanwhile, the Negeri Sembilan branch of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested a senior armed forces officer on suspicion of soliciting and receiving 28,000 ringgit in bribes. The man in his 50s has been remanded for 6 days until February 9th to facilitate investigations. He was arrested on Tuesday when he turned up at the Negeri Sembilan MACC office. The suspect is believed to have committed the offences between 2024 and 2025. He was serving as a director and allegedly received 500 to 3,000 ringgit each month, linked to the extension of a photographic services contract and the sale of photographic souvenirs, as well as from contractors awarded work at his place of posting. Two brothers were charged at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court on Wednesday with the murder of a man last year, later identified as one of 6 victims whose skeletal remains were found in Kangkar Pulai. The accused, 32-year-old Arasan, who appeared on crutches, and his elder brother R. Utas, aged 36, only nodded when the charge was read out before Magistrate Nabilah Nizam. No plea was recorded. According to the charge sheet, the brothers allegedly murdered 28-year-old V. Tamilselvan at a house located in an oil palm plantation in Kangkar Pulai on September 15, 2025. The offence under the Penal Code carries the death penalty or imprisonment of between 30 and 40 years and caning upon conviction. The court fixed April 6 for case mention. Previously, the two men were the main suspects in the case involving the discovery of skeletal remains, including those of 5 family members, in a burnt house located within an oil palm plantation area. They were believed to have been acquaintances of the 2 adult victims. The husband of the adult female victim had reportedly lodged a police report on January 9th after discovering the skeletal remains while searching for his wife and children, who had earlier been reported missing. Investigations revealed that the 6 victims were a 35-year-old woman, a 19-year-old teenage girl, 2 girls aged 9 and 5, a 2-year-old boy, and a 29-year-old man. In a related development, Johor Police Chief Dato' A.B. Rahman Arsad said forensic reports on the murder of 6 charred victims in the Kangkar Pulai murder case are expected to take up to 2 months to complete. He added that chemical and medical reports will also be finalized within the same time frame. He explained that while the reports were being processed, police had received instructions to prosecute only the 2 individuals.
Motif semacam saya sebutkan ni, saya tidak akan dedahkan biar perkara ni ditimbulkan di mahkamah nanti. Sebagai rakan, mereka rakan, kawan dia.
Rahman added that no further arrests had been made so far. The government will only allow the import of high-end electric vehicle models to protect Malaysia's local automotive ecosystem. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the move is also aimed at preventing an influx of low-quality EVs into the local market. Johari said the automotive sector remains a key driver of the national economy, contributing around 82 billion ringgit and supporting more than 700,000 jobs across the high technology supply chain.
Jadi kalau yang nak datang ni, dia kena bawa the high end. Dia kalau yang bawa low ni, kita dah ada 2 important companies yang kita ada yang will be able to do that. So jadi that's the reason why kita nak kena tengok supaya kita bukan tempat untuk buat lambakan. Okay, so that's the reason why saya stresskan kita nak the quality EV yang datang kat sini ni is not because of the pricing so cheap. It's actually we have to also protect our ecosystem.
He added that the emphasis on quality is crucial to prevent an oversupply of vehicles that could negatively affect the growing local EV segment. Last year, Malaysia recorded its highest ever total industry volume of 820,752 vehicles. The ministry has also set a minimum price of 250,000 ringgit per unit for fully imported EVs, effective from January. The Employees Provident Fund dividend for 2025 is underpinned by strong investment income performance in the first 9 months of the year, based on Global Asia Consulting's assessment. According to the firm's projection, the EPF is expected to declare a 2025 dividend of between 5.8 and 6.3% for conventional savings and 5.5 to 6% for Sharia savings. Bank Muamalat Chief Economist Muhammad Afzanizam Abdul Rashid said the projection is driven largely by global market gains and overseas portfolio diversification. He also said such performance helps contributors not only preserve their savings but also grow their returns in real terms, despite ongoing global market uncertainties.
What is more important is that the EPF dividends continue to outpace the inflation rate. For instance, last year, the inflation rate was at 1.4%. Prior to last year, the dividend rate in 2024 was at 1.8%.
Last year, EPF recorded investment income of 63.9 billion ringgit for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2025, up 11% compared with the same period in 2024. A dividend of 6.30% was declared for both conventional and Sharia savings for 2024. How have recent foreign capital flows turned supportive for Malaysia? What do these movements reveal about investor behavior and market sentiment? How are these trends influencing Malaysia's financial markets? Azaria Tagaya speaks with RAM Ratings Head of Economic Research, Woon Kai-jack, only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton. 50 building owners have applied for MD Nexus status, which certifies premises as approved digital business locations. Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo said the designation confirms that the buildings are equipped with the required infrastructure, connectivity and integrated ecosystem to support international digital companies.
Dan ianya menjadi tarikan kepada perniagaan-perniagaan baru daripada seluruh, bukan sahaja rantau tapi seluruh dunia, untuk membangunkan precinct ini ataupun kawasan persekitaran ini sebagai kawasan digital.
Earlier, Gobind officially launched Merdeka 118 as the country's first MD Nexus location. 6 high-impact sectors have also been identified as key focus areas for Malaysia's digital transformation this year, namely healthcare, transport, agriculture, SME digitalization, enforcement and government services.
With a specially prepared video.
Children drowned after falling into sewage pond. This and more after this breather.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
انت شو اسم العيلة؟ شو اسمك الكامل؟
Hin Raja berusia 6 tahun. Anak kepada Wisam dan Rami ini terperangkap dalam mimpi ngeri di Gaza. 29 Januari 2024, dunianya hancur. Sendirian di celah jasad keluarganya, dia merayu. 10 Februari 2024, dia ditemui kaku. Hin pergi sebagai saksi bisu kepada dunia yang gagal melindunginya.
هند كانت تحب تروح على البحر كأنه البحر كأنه صاحبها يعني كأنه رفيق إلها.
Bila last kita jujur 100%?
Kadang-kadang dalam hidup ni kan Aminah, bila nak jadi baik, kita kena berlakon jadi baik. Kita buat je macam mana kita selalu buat.
Kalau betul suara gelak tu nak duit, dah lama dah diminta.
Cakap dengan dia yang kita kena tipu dengan kontraktor, kita dah buat report polis.
Muat turun dan layan Tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Welcome back. A quiet afternoon turned tragic when 3 children were found to have drowned after falling into a sewage pond in Sibu, Sarawak on Wednesday. The incident occurred at around 4 p.m. near the Sibu Jaya apartments. The State Fire and Rescue Department said the victims, 2 girls and a boy, were pulled to the edge of the pond by members of the public before rescue teams arrived. All 3 were pronounced dead at the scene by Health Ministry medical personnel. The children were identified as siblings Max Devdin Shari, age 12, and Max Wellwhite Merdeka, age 9, along with Daniela Arisa Tayas Meringai, age 10. The bodies were handed over to the police for further action. Leftover food like chicken, mutton and tofu reheated and resold to customers the following day. For this, a restaurant in Negeri Sembilan was ordered to shut down for 2 weeks. The State Health Department issued the directive after a video allegedly showing leftover food being washed and prepared for resale went viral. The closure took effect on Tuesday. The restaurant was also issued a compound. The Seremban City Council also slapped the owner with compounds for operating without approval, displaying unauthorized advertisements and neglecting basic sanitation protocols. In the federal capital, a 16-year-old boy who injured the former Dangwangi district police chief during a tense operation in Kampung Sungai Baru last year was spared jail and ordered to complete 100 hours of community service. Magistrate Nur Farahin Roslan ruled that the punishment must be completed within 6 months and under the supervision of the Social Welfare Department. The teen had in January pleaded guilty with deliberately instilling fear and obstructing former police chief, Senior Assistant Commissioner Zulizmi Afendi Sulaiman, from carrying out his duties during an evacuation operation in September. Zulizmi was reportedly struck on the head with a rock and was seen bleeding from the injury. The boy is not schooling and works part-time at a burger stall. Bomb disposal officer injured in latest Patani explosion. The details when Nightline returns.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Dia telah tiada, namun suaranya tidak akan pernah padam. Sebuah karya yang mengangkat kebenaran yang cuba dilenyapkan, simbol kegagalan dunia dalam melindungi nyawa yang tidak berdosa. Paparan kekejaman tanpa batasan. Setiap titisan air mata adalah gema kesedaran sejagat yang menggoncang dunia. The Voice of Hind Rajab. Sebagai tanda solidariti, bersama kita teruskan perjuangan ini.
Malu adik saya ni macam mana? Hari saya menikah dengan Rena.
Saya takkan pernah anggap awak suami saya sampai bila-bila.
Itulah. Dulu orang suruh belajar, tak nak belajar.
Betul ke kau kena kahwin?
Aku tak nak cakap hal tu sekarang ni.
Aku nak luahkan perasaan.
Daus, aku ni.
Aku suka kau.
I tengok tadi pun you dengan Ustaz kan macam tak ada chemistry.
I haven't said yes.
Di Cerita Rama TV3 Sabtu ini 10 malam dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kenapa ni bro? Otak aku kena piang lah bro.
Dendam yang membisu.
Kau ingat yang dia pergi keping dia RM10 kau tu. Dia tanggung anak bini kau.
Pilihan yang memaksa membongkar segalanya.
Tapi yang ni risau. Kalau duit yang abang dapat tu daripada sumber yang tak halal.
Diamlah yang ni. Abang keluar cari duit. Cari duit lebih macam-macam kerja abang buat untuk nak tanggung keluarga kita. Yang ni tahu tak?
Ringkat Ahad ini 9 malam di Cerita Ahad TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Onto the foreign front, an explosive device detonated at a petrol station in Thailand's Patani province on Wednesday, injuring an explosive ordnance disposal or EOD officer. The device went off at 9:15 a.m. local time in a toilet at the PTT station opposite the Talubo power plant. Following the explosion, authorities moved in to secure the area, evacuate the public and carry out a controlled disposal operation. At least 2 explosive devices were found at the scene, with 1 successfully neutralized. Security in the surrounding area remains on high alert as investigations continue to identify and track down those responsible. Search and rescue teams in Indonesia have recovered 6 of the 7 workers buried in a landslide at the Pondi illegal tin mine in Bangka Belitung Islands. The Bangka Disaster Mitigation Agency reported on Tuesday that the latest victim brought the total number of bodies received at Dapati Bahrain General Hospital to 6. 11 workers were at the site when the landslide struck on Monday in Pemali district. The workers were trapped along with the heavy equipment they were using at the time. Most of the workers were reported to be from Lebak and Pandeglang regencies in Banten. Israel has killed at least 21 Palestinians in attacks across Gaza, one of the deadliest days since the October ceasefire, as the evacuation of Palestinian patients and wounded via the Rafah crossing was suspended for Wednesday. The casualties included several children, with 14 people killed in Israeli shelling in northern Gaza. In further attacks in the south of the Strip, at least 4 people were killed in Israeli shelling of displaced people's tents in the Kizan Abu Rashwan area south of Khan Yunis. Amid the uptick in Israeli attacks, the Palestinian Red Crescent said Israel has cancelled the coordination for a 3rd batch of Palestinian patients to leave the Gaza Strip through the Rafah crossing. Turning to sports, football, the ASEAN Club Championship. 10-man Selangor FC booked their place in the semi-finals following a thrilling 1-0 draw with Thai club BG Pathum United in the final Group A match at the MBPJ Stadium on Wednesday night. Despite a major setback in the first half, when Elvin Fortes was sent off in the 25th minute for a dangerous challenge on Kritsada Kaman, the hosts stunned the visitors just before half-time as Faisal Halim unleashed a powerful shot to open the scoring. The Red Giants' lead, however, was levelled in the 63rd minute after defender Rickman Ankara inadvertently turned the ball into his own net, forcing the 1-0 draw. The result saw Kim Pangon's side advance to the semi-finals as Group A runners-up level on 9 points with group winners Buriram United. And turning to badminton, the 2026 Badminton Asia Team Championships, Malaysia warmed up for their clash against traditional rivals Indonesia by hammering Myanmar 5-0 in Group D to check into the men's team quarterfinals in Qingdao, China on Wednesday. Malaysia secured the first 3 points comfortably, with 3 singles players delivering impressive wins. Justin Ho overcame Haintut 21-18, 21-19, while Eugene Yu recorded an easy 21-10, 21-14 victory against Nyan Shane Lin. Kong Wei Xiang also dominated Lal Zuidika, winning 21-11, 21-11. The momentum carried into the doubles as Aaron Tai and Yap Roy King, along with Chong Hon Jian and Haikal Nazri, completed Malaysia's 5-0 sweep in under 30 minutes. Malaysia will face Indonesia in their second match on Thursday. And as we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look at fighter jets and attack helicopters dazzling with precision, acrobatics and high-speed maneuvers at Asia's largest air show in Singapore. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for watching and take care.